that laugh that wrinkles your nose. It touches my foolish heart. Lovely, don't you ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
Greg, everyone, wasn't that absolutely amazing? Thank you so much for performing.
Thank
well,
you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Please.
How do you do?
How do you do? Thank you so much for being on my show.
Shante.
Let's get you a seat.
Seat. Oh, I get a
Yes.
seat too.
What an amazing way to start this interview. Right, guys? Obviously, with his amazing voice. Now, Greg, obviously you came all the way here, which I'm extremely honored that you did, to come all the way from Milwaukee.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
Yes. And so, coming all the way from the Midwest right now, first of all, it's a lot colder over there right now than it is here.
A bit.
A bit.
Not too much.
See, I'm from Chicago originally, so I know the Midwest cold.
Chicago.
Okay? So
Okay.
I definitely know what that feels like.
All right.
But welcome back to Vegas.
It's great to be back in Las Vegas. I was here last in February.
Okay, so it's been some time.
9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed it too. I like to come here. Enjoy the weather. I like, especially like filling my schedule with entertainment. Also with the good food.
Oh, obviously, like Las Vegas is known for having like anything and anything.
Yeah, yeah,
You
just-
come here to eat. Lots of people just come here to eat. Is
Oh
literally
yeah.
what it is. So you come to Vegas a lot, obviously, as you just said. But do you perform a lot? I've seen some on your resume that you have performed and been here doing some shows and stuff like that.
Right. I perform as when I'm asked. You don't want to push it, but when I'm asked to sit in at other people's performances, I would be glad to do that. Last night there was a great induction ceremony at the Portnoy Gallery. Go check out the Portnoy Gallery and get some great portraits or some great artwork from Neil Portnoy. And they had an induction ceremony for the people that were going to be on his wall, on the Portnoy Gallery's Wall of Fame.
Amazing.
So they had their inductees into that ceremony, and I was attending it with my wife and Joey Melati, who was the keyboard player for Barry Manilow. He was playing there, and he asked me, "Well, why don't you come up and sing a song?" So I sang a song. So it was very nice. It sang "Fly Me to the Moon,"
Yeah.
and I was very honored to do that. So things like that. I'll stop in. I've been getting to know some of the entertainers around town, and I'm very honored if I'm ever asked to sing. It's an honor. But I'd like to at some time make a move here and do some entertainment. I want to get get a band together. There's plenty of great musicians.
Oh yes, 100%. Yeah, Vegas is a great place, and as you felt the energy, it's lots of people here, and when you meet one or two, you then end up networking so much. Like it's just you end up knowing everyone within the industry that you are. So I don't think it'd be hard for you to get your name out there, and I really hope that you do come back to Vegas and you make this your new home.
Well, it would be great.
So it'd be amazing. Yeah, there's many opportunities, and like I said, like once you know one person that does what you do, you're gonna know many. It's small but mighty.
I know Priscilla Moy.
Yeah, now it's small but mighty. I hear that Vegas is me like the next Hollywood, so it's a great place to be right now, and I really hope that you can come and show Vegas what you're made of.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about your singing history. So how long have you been singing for?
I've been singing for quite a long time. I mean, it goes back to you sing in different groups in grade school, junior high school. So that's kind of how it started. I wasn't primarily a singer. I was in bands when I was in junior high and high school. I'm a tuba player. In fact, this December, back home, there's a German place that once a year they have something called Tuba Christmas, and that's something that's actually worldwide. Tuba Christmas, they'll have all these different tuba ensembles that will get together and play Christmas songs. It was started by a guy named Harvey Phillips. the University of Indiana professor of tuba, and it's carried on, and we get together. This is actually my first time in Tuba Christmas, so I'll be bringing my tuba. We'll have a short rehearsal, learn all these Christmas songs, and then perform for people at the Bavarian House.
Wow.
I think near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Glendale.
Oh, that's amazing. I want a clip. You have to send a clip to us so that we can make sure to show that. I think that'd be amazing, especially because it's your first time.
What was funny was I found out the director of that ensemble was my tuba teacher when I was in high school.
See, it's a small family wherever you go.
Yeah, his name is Dave Carlton. Yeah.
Shout out.
Dave Carlton. Shout out everybody.
Well, that's amazing. So now, getting a sense of hearing.
Al Jarreau. No.
So you find
Speaking of Milwaukee,
the song that you sang tonight, you love jazz. I'm assuming.
Jazz is great. Jazz is great. I played in a jazz ensemble back in high school as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so is that.
And my high school jazz director was Al Jarreau's teacher.
Wow. See? So you know the game. You know how small the industry could be and how, amazing it is. And you bump into anyone anytime and you have no idea, they could, pop up and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. Hey.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you primarily, that's what you perform, is that what
Right,
you do?
right. There's various, even back home in Milwaukee, there is a group that meets weekly and also monthly. There's a jazz jam going on there. Yeah. It's organized by Dave Miller. Yeah, there's a group called Jazz Unlimited, and they organize a lot of different events, and the Jazz Jam is great. So we get a lot of entertainers in that area will come in and they'll sit in, and we got some outstanding musicians back there as well.
It's an amazing thing. I know there's a lot of even music festivals now. That there's jazz music festivals.
Right, as you know, Summerfest, which is the world's largest music festival.
Yeah, and that would be amazing. You should. I hope to see you perform in front of all these thousands of people. They still remember us here, social media shows. But so you mentioned that you didn't primarily start as a singer. So when did you kind of find your passion and your love and talent?
I was very interested in acting.
Okay.
In acting, so I want to be an actor. In fact, I'd still like to be an actor, but my dream is not going to be fulfilled because I want to be a child actor. Okay, so can't do that. But I like to. I'd like to be I like acting. I do some acting. I've done some over the years in different groups. Or of course, in school, you get involved with those different groups, and then a community theater and so on. So, funny thing is, I also have a job that pays the bills. I work for the city of Milwaukee, and I said to myself, I wanted something very, very much. I said, someday I'd love to work on Broadway. I would love to work on Broadway. Well, in the city of Milwaukee, the municipal building is located on Broadway.
Wow! So you manifested it.
I wasn't specific about the Broadway I wanted to work on.
Right.
So I played in different music groups. So like I said, I was in junior high school. I played the tuba, and I also took up the trombone when I was in high school. Played jazz, learned a lot of great jazz stuff in high school, but I wanted to act, and we only did musicals in junior high school. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, if you want to be an actor, you have to sing. I said, okay, I will sing. So that really was like the beginning of my singing, and then over the years there'd be different times, different opportunities in which I would sing.
Yes, I have theater background as well. That's
wonderful.
I have a degree, and I trained my acting in theory, even though I always liked film. But I know with a lot of my musical theater friends, and even as a BFA actor, I had to participate in the auditions and doing all those, and it's not easy. Mm-hmm. And it's literally, to me, it's not fun. But I'm glad. But that kind of was an introduction to you, kind of leading into something that ended up being absolutely amazing, and you're great at it for someone who just kind of stumbled in it, right? Like, are you? I'm pretty sure now you're good back and you're so thankful.
Yeah, I actually enjoy auditions.
Yeah, you're one of the only ones. You're not.
Well, I enjoy audition because I don't know you don't ever know if you're going to get the part. So you feel, okay, this is my part.
Right.
This is my show. Okay, this is my one night only show.
Yeah. So you have one chance.
One
right?
chance,
You have
one show,
chance,
and yeah, it's gonna be opening, closing night the same day, and then that's how I treat an audition as a performance.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you have any vocal training since you did found your love for singing?
Actually, I did. Back in about 1980 or so, I decided to take some vocal lessons. That's quite a while. I didn't really reveal my age to you, but actually, I'm going to, believe it or not, I'm going to be 80 in January of the year 2041. Year 2041.
So anyone who's great at math and stuff like that can let us know. But that's amazing though. But I'm glad that you and I have crossed paths now, and then I'm sure you have so much that you inspire others to do. Like, do you have a lot of pupils that come to you and like ask for your advice in performing? Like, do you see a lot of
sometimes? Yes.
Generation?
Yeah. I try to offer as whatever I can. Just the simple things. Know your lines, know your music,
right.
know your keys.
Right. Oh yes.
Know your keys.
Yes.
So that would be great. That's great to know. But as I was saying, when I studied under a vocal teacher named Gene Drea. Gene Drea, he was a pretty well-known vocal teacher in Milwaukee, and I took vocal lessons for a while until 1980, 81, and he also had contacts, so then I was able to do some theater work, and get into auditions. And then I stopped doing the lessons back in January of 1982, because that's when I went into the Navy. I enlisted in the Navy in 1982. Sure enough, when I got to my basic training in San Diego, got off the bus, I was met by someone who was asking if anybody had any musical experience or played any instruments. Because they needed people for a drill company, which was nice because the drill company doesn't have to do all the other work. They have to work on their music.
Right.
They don't have to do all the service week stuff. So I was able to play music. And actually, when I met the company commander, he said, "Well, who's the tuba player here?" And I said, "I am." And he looked at me and he said, "You look like a effing tuba player."
Oh, you fit the bill.
I said, "This is great. This is great."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at that. See how the things just kind of happen, and it's always
right.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, something you learn.
The instruments that we were using were not. It was in the same key that you would have on a tuba, but only 2 valves instead of the 3. Okay, because those are the keys that you do, and it's called a contra. Okay. That kind of instrument's called a contra.
So, along with all the musical background you have, do you write your own music as well?
I don't write anything.
You don't write anything?
No,
okay.
no. I'll write my name, but no, I don't. I figure if Pavarotti didn't write his own stuff, I guess I don't have to. And he seemed to have done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you have your own style. You know who you are and what you bring to the table, and it's amazing. You inspire many in your own ways.
It took a while to find that style too.
Yeah.
Because I was singing a lot of different things. I was singing country. I was actually I was sang in a contest.
I was going to bring that up. Was it?
It was called Nashville Star.
Right.
Yes. Right. That was pretty interesting. They had local auditions, and then they sent me to Nashville, and then they had the audition over there. They line everybody up, and each person has to take a step forward and sing for 30 seconds, and they know right away if they want to.
Right.
After 15 seconds, they knew that they didn't want me.
Like pure cattle call casting, right?
That's what it was.
What it's cattle call,
That's
right? That's true theater style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And very intimidating.
Yeah.
But you.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a good experience though, and then we can talk about it. I mean, now you know what it's like to be there, but then that kind of introduced you to finding a style that you do enjoy.
Right.
You do like in order to go through all of those trials and tribulations.
Right. Also sang in choirs, church choir, community choir. The community choir was called the Milwaukee Choristers. That was I was singing that one for a while, and I sang also in the church choir, and and community theater, that kind of things. So did that, and like when I was doing country music, when I was singing that, then I decided to do maybe some pop music. And a lot of singers like to go to karaoke to work on their music. Or I went there, and one guy said to me, the karaoke DJ said, "Your voice sounds like," well, I was singing Bruno Mars song. Oh. When I see your face.
Ah, great song.
There's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing just the way you are. And he said to me, that sounds like Sinatra. Why don't you start singing in his style? So then I started doing it.
Yeah, see, there you go. All started with karaoke.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So is there anything that we should look forward to that you're working on now? Any great performances, any releases, anything that you would like our audience to know around the country?
No, we're not doing any around the country. Well, if you happen to be in Monona, Wisconsin, which is near Madison, I have a semi-regular gig over there. We just finished over there. And when I perform, I use these professional backing tracks. Mm-hmm. So I hope it'll lead into some type of a gathering of either pianist or a duo or combo or something like that. But there is a place in Monona, Wisconsin called the Tasting Room of Monona, and it's a cigar lounge. Of course, they don't allow you to smoke cigarettes in there, but you can have as many cigars as you want. Yeah. So I go there, and it's a nice setting. It's a lounge setting, and I sing there, and often I have requests. So you never know what the show is going to be. And I'll tell you one thing: I go to a lot of shows. I go here, back home, and there's professional singers, and very good at what they're doing. But some of them want to just they're set in their ways. They said, "This is what my show is." Other ones are very gracious, and they say if they see somebody they know as an entertainer, they'll bring up and they say, "Would you like to perform?" That's the kind of entertainer I want to be if I have a show, which I was doing in there. I found out there was somebody who was a harmonica player. We brought him up. He played Roadhouse Blues, the Doors, and then there was another singer, and he liked to do Dean Martin. I said, "Well, I'm going to give him the best song. Why should I? I'm hoping that everybody who comes up is better than I am. Okay, that's what you want to bring. Your guests, the people are sit-in. Maybe some people don't ask people to sit in because they think, well, I don't want somebody to be better. In my opinion, I would love to have everybody sitting in to be better than I am." Wow. And they usually are.
That's amazing, though. Yeah. I love that. And I love how you just kind of introduce them, you give them an opportunity to showcase their talent. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of my show here. I love to bring people on, make this about you, learn more about you, tell everyone in the world about who you are and what you kind of stand for and how you inspire others and showcase why and prove to us why, which it's not hard for you to do. I love your confidence. I love your attitude. I love your love for music. So thank you so much for coming on here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, I just have to thank you again and again and again because I'm honored to meet you right now. So
I feel the same way. It's wonderful. I'm glad to be asked to be on the show. It's I don't know. Sometimes I'm speechless in that. It's just something because there are so many people that you can interview and they say, why me?
Because it's meant for you. Yeah. Like literally take this and own it.
Yeah, I like it.
Please.
I like it.
But that's amazing. But thank you so much.
Okay.
Being a good example of what I like to do here on Undiscovered is, getting talent like him to showcase and really introduce him to everybody else and learn about what makes Gregg and why he's motivated to do what he does. So once again, everyone, Gregg Rogalinski, thank you so much for being on my show. And when we come back, we have another amazing performer named Dondino, and I will see you after that. Dondino, yes.
Whoa.
We met him outside, right? And he's absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
I can't wait to learn a little bit about him. So see you guys after the break. Thank you again, Gregg.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, social media shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Hi guys, welcome back to Undiscovered. Wasn't Greg absolutely amazing? Like, I'm so glad that I was able to introduce you guys to him. But now we're moving on to another amazing singer, originally from Italy, and I cannot wait to have you guys learn more about him and all the amazing things he has done as a professional writer, performer, producer, all of the above. Please welcome what they call the great Dondino Melchiorre. Hello!
Hello!
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Italian people hug.
Yes, I'm a hugger too, so I'm glad that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So thank you so much for coming on my show.
Oh,
Like, I feel like when I saw the great Dondino, I was like, oh my god, like I'm having like someone amazing on the show. I'm like blessed. I'm honored. I feel like starstruck right now.
No, I'm honored.
So amazing. So originally from Italy.
Yes.
Correct. And how long have you been in the States for?
I came to the United States when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Actually 9.5. And I was born in a little town called Ussada, Provincia di Bolina in Italy. I still speak Italian, but. And I came here when I was 10 years old, and we landed in Brooklyn, New York. And I was raised
on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So that's where you probably did your performing, right? Being around all those people in New York,
Yeah.
and a lot of performances and music. So tell me a little bit about, obviously you're very well known for singing and performing. When did you find this passion and this love for doing what you do?
Okay, well, when I came to this country, I couldn't speak English, but I played an accordion.
Okay.
So when I was 13 years old, I had my first band.
Oh.
And through the music, I learned the English lyric. And through the English lyric, I started to understand. I started to speak, English. But that was my first experience when I was 13 years old.
Yeah. And from there, you probably were like, oh my God, this is, I love it. Right?
I do.
Yeah. And so your main style of singing is, what would you like?
Well, a lot of people, they say, well, Dondino, what do you sound like, or what's your style, like you just said.
Right.
And the only way I can explain it is that I'm a cross between perhaps maybe an Engelbert Humperdinck with Tony Bennett a little bit, tuxedo singer, with the Dean Martin personality.
Yes, so all of the above. Yeah. Like, that's amazing. Yeah, I know listened to a lot of those. My grandma's a big fan of all of those style of music, so I'm very well versed in that style, so it'd be amazing. I know that you do more than just perform, right?
Yes.
Like, so do you write your own music as well?
I write my own music. I've had a couple of semi-hits, but today the music industry is a little bit changed.
Yeah.
And there are no longer the record companies, per se. So you produce actually your own material, you market it yourself, and YouTube and on and on.
It's streaming right now. It's streaming all the time instead of radio and things like that.
Right.
But that's amazing. But you still have that talent. I would love to have to listen to some of your originals, and we can showcase on here. Hopefully,
well, next time I'd love to come back.
I'd love to have you. And so, how long have you been in Las Vegas?
Las Vegas, I came 1978.
Wow! So you've seen a lot of change happening in the city.
Yes, and I was fortunate enough to come when it still was the old Las Vegas, and it was making its transitions into Las Vegas today.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing. And where are some of the places that you've performed and showcased your talent?
Well, I showcased my first show at the Sahara Hotel, August the 8th, 1979.
Wow.
And 2 weeks later, I was hired on a small little hotel on Convention Center Drive. Michael Gahn owned the hotel. He owns the South Point.
Okay.
And he gave me my first job.
Wow.
And then from there, it's history.
It's history. You do one thing in Vegas, and
Right.
it's still kind of like that now. You do one thing, and it introduces you to so many more. You meet the same people, you run into the same people, and some of them, they stay. Vegas kind of keeps the people. The city's made for you. You become like yourself. Here you are in Vegas, still watching all these different things, and the times change and music changing.
Well, now you're competing with hockey and football.
Yeah, now sports are being introduced to Vegas. So But
Vegas is still great. It's wonderful.
yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So do you have any residency now? Any place that anyone can go see you at before?
No, I am working on that presently.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Iowa for about 6 years, and I left Las Vegas a couple of years back, and I had a theater in Branson, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And after, I think it was about 12 years of the theater there, I came back to Las Vegas, and things have changed, you know. But I'm speaking right now to perhaps maybe a venue that I could be the residency. You know,
That's
residency,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be, because I would love to, hint, not people that are listening, anyone that wants to
What
hear
I
the
do
great
is
Dondino.
I do a lot of benefit shows, you know, and like I just finished a show at the Italian American Club.
Oh, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah. And it was great.
Yeah.
They got great food.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, who doesn't love some Italian food? That's amazing. But it's also probably good because when you're able to be part of your community and like represent them,
Yes.
a lot of people, I hate to say it, try to like shy away when, but I think maintaining that and bringing,
Right.
showcasing history, being around those people and being like kind of inspiring all those people.
Yeah.
To also do and be like you. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of Italian.
What I've learned is
Yeah.
that Las Vegas has been so kind to me in my life and my career, you know, and you have to give back.
Yes.
You have
100%.
to. You have to. And at one time, a couple of years back, I used to do 150 benefits per year, you know.
Yeah.
And I would still do them today if they were around for me to do.
Yeah.
But
That's
you have to give
absolutely
back.
amazing. You do. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
I do.
purpose of my show here. Is that, back when I was trying to like get to where I am now, no one would give me chances like these, right? And so now that I have the opportunity to do that, I love to give the platform to someone to literally tell their story and show people why,
God bless you. That's great.
they need to know who you are, no matter how old, no matter how young, no matter what it is you do, right? You can be a fashion designer, you can be a singer, actor, business owner, whatever it is.
And I've learned something throughout my career. And I was a very young boy at the time, and his name was Jimmy Durante. He was like an old-time comic and stuff. And he said to me, he said, remember, son, no matter how big you get, you're only as good as your last show.
Yes.
And if you keep that, that keeps you grounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just remembering the hard work and what it made to get you there, and who helped you get there. That's what I always remember, and I'm sure, like, I love that about you is that you seem very humble, and you know the people that have been there for you, and then you've also loved to inspire other people at the same time.
Yes, I do.
But be confident in who you are and still keep going.
Confident
you know what I mean?
in who you are,
and just continue to go, and so I love that, and because of that, you now are working on a documentary. Is that correct? That's amazing.
Documentary is called Cowgirl to Showgirl,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the story of the iconic showgirl of Las Vegas. And we had the opportunity to meet a young lady called Cindy Domaney, and won't mention how old she is today, but she was a showgirl like back in the 50s.
Okay.
You know?
Wow.
And she was magnificent. She was gorgeous. But her life story, she used to be a cowgirl. She used to work rodeos and stuff like that. So from a cowgirl, she became a showgirl, and that's the whole premise of the documentation. But it's also the history of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot
I'm
of
sure.
people,
She has an amazing story to tell.
Right. There's a lot of people, they think of a showgirl, they think, not that we think that they're pole dancers, but they don't look at them as dancers.
Yeah.
And the showgirls, basically, at that time period, still today, they trained, they have ballet.
Yes.
You know, they're just...
They're not the ones that normally, they're just the ones that walk the street.
No,
right? Like there's some that literally perform, and they're amazing at what they do.
And not only that, through the documentary, we found out that some of the showgirls, well, most of them, they all maintained their own careers. And today, there are 2 attorneys right here in town. Won't mention the names, but they were former showgirls, and they're prominent attorneys today.
Wow, it's amazing.
That's
cool. That's great. And so along with that, you also have books that you write.
Well, when I came to this country, I couldn't speak.
Right.
And to me, that just bothered me. And so today, the second language in the United States would be Spanish or Mexican, let's say. So I said, no, we're going to have a foundation. I want to print bilingual books. So they're in English and Spanish.
Yes.
And if it helps just one kid, I'm cool.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing.
And the foundation began 2009. And since 2009 to today, we have printed and given away over 30,000 books to children.
And I'm sure they absolutely appreciate it and adore the fact that they feel seen. right? Because that's what everyone wants to be. Like they feel like they're not understood because they feel the pressures of needing to fit in,
Right.
especially at that young age. You know, when
Right.
they're growing up, and you know, if they actually have like immigrant parents, like they just stick to their own community and they try to keep that going.
Yeah.
Right. Then only go with people that they know instead of really branching out and
Right.
seeing their true potential
Right.
here. So
And
that's
what's cool
amazing.
about the book, though, it helps both. In other words, it would help the English-speaking child
Mm-hmm.
to cross over and learn Spanish and
Yes.
vice versa, and
Yes.
it brings a unity.
Yes, and that's absolutely amazing. So are these books like now? Do you write them? Do you
We
have write the
write
full
them.
thing? Are they fiction, nonfiction? Are they what's your
Well, they're the children's
The children's
books in the age
books.
of
Mhm.
0 through 7, maybe 8 years of age, and they're pictured books.
okay?
You know, and the stories are unbelievable, like the cookie story.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, my sunshine friend and things like that.
Yeah.
And the book, basically, when you open it, it's mirror image.
Okay.
So it's English on the left side with the identical
Yeah.
sketch number to the right side. So you can always,
Yeah.
reference back and forth as
Yeah.
you're reading it. And plus the numbers of the page are in English and Spanish.
Oh, that's amazing. That's definitely for a child because they can maintain learning another language at a young age,
Right.
and it's that would just.
And the book comes with a theme song,
Oh wow!
and it also comes with the narration as you turn the pages. Yeah,
That's
it's cool.
fantastic.
It's cool.
Well, congratulations
Yeah,
on that.
thank
Yay! And where can everyone purchase these books if they would?
ReadToMeFoundation.org.
Okay. And so is there always new releases coming out? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Right now we're
amazing.
working on a book for Hawaii,
Mhm.
and we have the mayor and the governor of Hawaii helping us and backing us up because they're learning that the Hawaiian language they're starting to lose,
Yeah.
and they want to hold on to it.
Yes. Yes. It's very important.
Yeah.
Very big culture.
To the
focus
culture.
part and things like that. And it's kind of sad when you do see that you can't help it. Since as time goes on, sometimes
I
it just
know,
loses
I know.
it, and it's I hate to see that, especially me being.
Well, it's even with me, I speak Italian, but I speak the dialect of my hometown.
Mhm.
I don't speak the Alto Italia,
Yeah.
but I never lost it.
Right.
And
Language is
encour-
great.
and I encourage bilingual. I encourage
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
speaking different languages for children.
It's very it's good to have when you're older. When you're younger, sometimes they want to fit in so bad. No, I don't want to. Like I'm feeling embarrassed, and then as they get older, it's like, dang it, I should have kept it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're very proud of your Italian culture, which I'm
Very
getting
proud.
very proud, and it's
Very proud.
amazing. So do you maintain a lot of the traditions and the culture ever since you came to the States, and you do so now?
I do at home,
Mhm.
I don't try to brag about it outside my home because that's like a private culture for me,
Mhm.
But yeah, and most of all the food.
Right. Who doesn't? Food brings people together. We love
I'm a
it.
frustrated chef.
So speaking of food, cooking, chef, you have a cooking show.
Yes.
Yes, we need to talk about this.
Okay.
So
We have a cooking show. It's going to be like a celebrity cooking
Mhm.
show. And the name of the show is Men on the Range. Sounds like an old cowboy song.
yeah, it's perfect for us in
Give
the
me a
desert.
home
Right now.
with a buffalo roam. I can't do it in Spanish though. So anyway, a celebrity cooking show, but not using the big type celebrities, mainly using the chefs that are locally to promote all the restaurants
right.
locally,
Oh, that's amazing.
but also involving the public of cooking on the show also. And it's a 30-minute show. Well, actually 20
Wow.
minutes, excluding commercials.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I love how you're making sure that people in Vegas are being seen.
Yeah.
And you're introducing the businesses. 'Cause it's very hard to own restaurants and have all of those. And the most thing you want to do is just showcase your talent
Right.
and your food.
What I've learned though is, like in show business, and I always say this, everybody wants to be a singer.
Mhm.
Now I'm learning that everybody wants to be a cook or chef.
Oh, that's the new thing.
And you look at all the TV shows, there's so many cooking shows.
Oh,
I think
yes.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And I think the average person wants to cook, but they
Mhm.
don't have the proper direction of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They read a can and they dump
Yeah.
it and they cook. It's so simple to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you really to have a show? Did you produce the show? Are you?
Yeah, we're gonna produce
so
the show.
you
Yeah.
have all your hands in it with everything.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you really to do this in
I
the way
love-
that you're doing it as
I
well?
love television.
Okay.
And couple of years back, I had a TV show of my own for 4 years, locally, and then it became regionally. And I was so impressed because I never realized how many people don't know what you're doing, who you are, and how many people you could have as basically build up your following and so on and so forth. Now today it expanded from that. Now it's streaming, and to me that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
That's amazing. And what really inspired you to do this amazing thing of opening it up for locals? Is that something that you're very passionate about?
Well, just going to
Vegas,
restaurants and talking to people, you know, and a lot of people can't afford to go to a restaurant, but that doesn't mean they cannot cook restaurant-styled food, you know.
So that's so great. And so where can everyone, has the show premiered?
Not yet.
Not yet. So it's
Still
coming.
working.
It's still working. It's coming. And so will this be streamed online mostly, or do you have a...
I don't know.
Oh!
I may.
So this... So anyone watching, hint, you know, the great Dondino has more... Like his hands in a lot of things. That'd be great for Las Vegas. And I'm so
As
glad.
long as it makes sense. And what I've learned in my life is that when you do something, it has to work for both people.
Yes.
For all the people.
Yes.
Not only
Yes.
just yourself.
Not only yourself, yeah. And I love that. And that's why I'm glad to have you on the show, because that's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah.
Lending a helping hand, like showcasing other people doing it for another. And then also, you know, I love that. I love just showcasing someone that people need to know. Yeah. And you have so many amazing things working on. And if I can help in any way to get rid of people to know who you are and just be able to, you know, help you in what your goals. A little bit. You know, I could do a lot of some home style Cantonese, but you know,
What nationality are you?
I'm Chinese.
Chinese,
Yes.
okay.
So.
Well, a very good friend of mine is Chinese.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm working, and she gave me a cookbook that's like a telephone book, you know, years ago. And I'm surfing through it and stuff, and now I'm starting to learn how to cook Chinese. You know, so I impressed her, and she's authentic. I mean, she born, raised, you know. And she said, Dondino, she said, I don't believe it. She said, your cooking is as good as in my country. She didn't say restaurant.
Yeah.
She said country.
Yeah, because a lot of, I know, especially being in a Cantonese household, the cook styles are a little different in different areas of China. But they don't follow books, right? No. Like they do based on taste or what they learn. But it's a very home style type of thing. So that's kind of like, there's everyone's like, how? I'm like, I just know, right?
Yeah,
like what I say, you just know.
It's
You
like
just
my
put
mother,
it in.
you know, she had a recipe.
Yeah, it's
she
just
put
great.
salt in her hand and she just did it.
Yeah, and it tastes amazing.
And that's why I think I don't bake, because baking takes too much precision.
Yeah.
A teaspoon of this and a half a cup of that.
Yeah.
No, I just have to cook.
I'm not a good baker either. So I do like the cooking. I do have that. When I moved out here, my dad made sure I knew because I'd be out here alone, right? And I was like, I need to know how to cook for myself because he did all the cooking, right? Yeah. So, but that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Like, I'm so glad that you're doing it the way that you're doing it. And I only wish you the best. And I hope that people watching this know how much talent this man has in all different areas. So from music to writing to producing to all of the above, and hands in every business. I hope that a lot of people will reach out to you and, you know.
I want to thank you for having me on the show.
Please. I'm honored.
Maria?
Yes, Maria, the producer, she is queen. All thanks to Maria, I get to meet these amazing people. Yeah. So, thank you so much. I hope to have you on. Like, I'm sorry, like, I really wish I could hear your voice today. But soon. Like, I know everyone here is just like, what is it? I'm like, well, we can, you know, search. I know when I Google you, pop up.
I can upload it. I can send it.
Yes. So, and then we can have you back on. You could do a lot of things for all of us. That would be absolutely amazing. And hopefully, when you come back, your residency, all of these things are in play. So. And then I can tell everyone, please come see the great Dondino. But anyway, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for being on this show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And please, like I said, support. It's the best thing that you guys can do for all these amazing talents. But after the break, I will come and say my thank yous and my goodbyes and give you guys a shout out. So once again, Dondino, everyone. See you after the break.
Oh, my lover, tell me is to linger with you. Screw